My name is Alex Rudin. I'm a freshman. I like writing, but I don't really like people to read what I write, so I don't really put it anywhere. Um, for me specifically, I have always felt like something was wrong. I didn't really always know that there was a term for it, but I always knew that something wasn't right. I always looked at the other boys in my grade and I wanted to look like them. I didn't know that there was a term for that, but I always did, and I feel like some people may define it differently, but for me, I am I want to have a flat chest and I want to be physically male, and so society says that now I am a boy. I guess some people feel like they're a boy, so society tells them to feel a certain way about their body, but for me personally, it's I feel this way about my body, so this is the category that I fit into. Gender roles do influence a lot of what I do because there are things that I like to do, but because I want to be perceived as male, I don't. Because I do want to have a male body, I do plan on starting testosterone when I'm 18, and I do plan on getting surgeries. But I also like things that are considered typically feminine, but because of a desire to pass or be seen as male, I will refrain from doing them. I went through a phase where I was kind of in a very deep denial, and I would wear a lot of dresses and a lot of makeup because I thought there isn't even a word for this isn't how I feel, or I thought that it just wasn't a thing. And so I tried to deny it, but the more that I tried to suppress how I felt, I got really depressed. I missed a lot of school last year, and finally coming out, even though there are people who I know just don't take it well, I felt like more comfortable and I felt like I had less of a standard to live up to. And then it took me a while to come out to my parents because I still felt like it was a very personal thing, and I thought, well, maybe I can just never bring it up. But it got to the point where it seemed like the pros of coming out were outweighing the cons. You have to be out living as male for a year before you can start hormone replacement therapy, and so the longer that I put it off, the longer it would be until I could feel right in the body that I'm in. And so I came out to my dad in the car, and I said, "Hey Dad, I'm trans," and he said, "Hey, where do you want to go for lunch?" And that was that. Coming out to my mom was significantly more difficult because she wanted a girl and a boy, and it was difficult for her to accept that she had two boys now, my brother and me. But she is growing to understand that this is who I am, and she is becoming accepting of it. The difficulty comes in when people aren't willing to understand or aren't willing to change, because I didn't just wake up one day and decide that I wanted to go through all of these horrible things just for the hell of it. Or can I say that?
Yeah.
And I'm going through this because this is me. I wouldn't go through this if I didn't absolutely need to. And so there are people who will call me a dyke or a tranny or just refuse to use the correct pronouns for me. And it sucks, and I try to correct them, but there comes a point eventually where they just won't listen. The first time in school that I went to the men's bathroom, I heard somebody else come in, and I got so terrified, and I put on like a really pissed face. I was ready to fight this kid, and I walked out, and I walked up to the sink, and he didn't even look up at me. Like, he just moved over slightly. So most people just don't really care, and also just don't really have the time to look up and really decide to do anything because I just have to go pee. But there have been more incidences I've noticed with girls who think that I am trying, when I did use the girls' bathroom, that I was trying to spy on them, which is crazy considering I'm not even attracted to females, and why would you spy on someone in the bathroom? But generally I feel like now using the men's bathroom, I feel safe, which I'm very lucky to feel that way. I don't always feel that way using the men's bathroom outside of school, but when I am in school, I feel like I'm protected. There are rules here, and if something does happen, I can talk to someone about it. I feel like people think that I am choosing this for myself, which I feel like is mainly because they're not educated about gender dysphoria and about being transgender, so they don't understand that it's not a conscious decision. One of my big concerns is that teachers hear or see people say or do things and they just stand there. Like, I was in the hallway and this girl was talking about me, and side note, if you're going to talk about me behind my back, don't do it when I'm 2 feet away from you. That kind of defeats the whole purpose. And she said, "Oh my god, the tranny dyke is looking at me." And there were teachers there and nobody said anything, so I just kept walking. And then there are times, like in class, where I've been called an it or other things and teachers just don't say anything. And I think that it's often taken too lightly because it's so hurtful to be called those things. I'm transgender. I also love to write. I also like music. I also really like food. Being trans is just a thing about me, and there are so many other things about me.